All right, another week in the books. We learned a lot, had a lot of fun, had a lot of success, a lot of failure. Good week. Did the Olympic Triathlon. Super stoked. Looking forward to the next 3 months of Ironman training. As everything is kind of moving the way it's expected, and found a little bit of motivation along the way in this video. So let's check it out. All right, Monday, Olympic Triathlon week. Just did the swim. It ripped. But before we get to that, we're gonna put these bike cages on to the bike. So let's go ahead. So let's put these on here like that. Bottles on there. Now, let's talk about the swim. So close. Gotta go back this way. Whoops. The swim ripped. We did 3,200 meters at about a minute 58 per pace per 100. And the pool was loaded. So it kind of made for some waves, which is a good soft intro to open water. Obviously did the ocean one time, but felt really strong in the swimming, felt prepped. So that was great. 3,100, 3,200 meters. Did about all freestyle. I don't know, I was just kind of in the zone. I did a 7 o'clock swim because work was just running mad late. So super stoked on that. Now we just need to meal prep for this week. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday before the race. Oh, I didn't see you there. So I figured out what I'm going to do for meals. Just use ChatGPT and then some other YouTube videos. But ultimately going to aim for, in the beginning of the week, 3 to 4 grams of carbs per kilo. So that's 4 times 90, so about 360 grams throughout the day. Probably a little bit more just because I'm snacking and trying to load on that. And then also I didn't really taper my workouts as you normally would for an upcoming triathlon. So still kind of high intensity, but this is what it is. So here, that says pasta with a protein plus salad and then bread and some veggies. We'll do Costco rotisserie chicken with some rice and veggies. What a deal, Costco. And then we'll continue to do, there we are, pasta again on Wednesday, chicken and rice on Thursday, and then pizza, carbs, and really try to get to like maybe 700 grams of carbs that day on race eve with probably a big breakfast. I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that, but that's kind of an important day, the day before, just to let your body get as many carbs as possible in the longest period to digest before the race. So really try to load up there. But right now we're going to work on making some pasta once this water boils. That's Monday. Tomorrow we got a bike ride, and we're going to test out those new water bottle holders. Tuesday, 6:30, doing the bike ride. Check the weather for Saturday. It's supposed to be 92 degrees Fahrenheit or 33 Celsius. So wearing a long sleeve for the ride, just do a little bit more heat training here. And let's see if this water bottle fits into here. Would you look at that? Water bottle fits. Let's hit the long ride and get one more day closer to this Olympic triathlon. Bike workout ripped. We're locked in. Just fueling now, so what I do is Costco chicken, some rice, broccoli, a couple of little Hawaiian rolls. This thing slaps. So feeling good. Bike's locked in. Tomorrow we may or may not run, but we'll probably figure out our fuel plan for the race. So got to start thinking about that and do that tomorrow, I guess. We're gonna go do a little 30-minute run. Just kind of sitting all day, stagnant. So legs feeling good. Do it a little bit quicker pace, not exactly the sprint workout, but just go get a little run in, shake out the legs before deciding if tomorrow during the swim, if I want to swim or if I want to take 2 days rest, who knows. But after the run, let's look into the fuel plan for the triathlon. All right, run done. Sweating pretty good. Pushed myself a little bit harder than what I thought I was going to do, but super stoked on it. Just really a push to tell my leg that, like, you're good to go. So we ran a 5K roughly, 23 minutes, so pretty good pace. Just really wanted to feel what the leg felt like at that pressure and speed, and then also just what it felt like to get your heart rate up to there. So haven't ran a 5K like that in a while. Never really worked on the sprint portion, so 23 minutes, a little over 7-minute pace. So pretty stoked on that. Not planning to do it. The goal maybe one day is to break 6-minute mile, which feels doable if I really, focus on it. But that felt good. So got a good sweat going. Back now. I think things are all shaping up to go good this weekend. Knock on wood. But I'm going to shower, then get to the nutrition for the race. Now that the run's done and I'm showered, just kind of prepping what I'm going to try for fuel and see how I feel. Understand if this is enough carbs per hour or if that is too little carbs per hour, or if I need more calories, right? This isn't going to include pre-race meal or post-race, right? So essentially what we're looking at for Operation Ironman Junior here, swim 1.5K or 0.93 miles, the run or the bike 40K, 24.8 miles, and then the run 10K, 6.2 miles. So what you'll see here is before the swim, I'm going to do a Martin Gel 100 with caffeine about 30 minutes before the swim. So that'll give me, outside of the pre-race meal, about 25 grams of carbs, 100 calories, and caffeine. And then as we get to the bike for that 24.8 miles or 40K, what we'll look at is I'm going to try to do 1.5 bottles during that hour 15 bike ride. And so that will give me in each Formula 369, which this is being advantageous because that's not here yet. I hope it gets here tomorrow, plus their electrolyte mix. What it's going to give me is 90 grams of carbs, so 3 scoops, 360 calories, and 670 milligrams of sodium, and then electrolytes, obviously, per bottle. So if I drink 1.5, bottles during the ride, that'll give me roughly, I don't know, what is that? 125, 135 grams of calories or carbs. I don't know, 360, 540 calories, and then some additional sodium. So that'll be, 1.5 during the bike ride. Hopefully that feels well. And then we'll go into the run, which I'll just do 2 Martin Gel 100s. I might do the 100s or I might do the 160 just because of the carb amount. Because this is going to give me 25 grams of carbs and 100 calories per gel, so 50 total during the hour. And then with an electrolyte drink mix as well. So that's what we're going to try for the ride or the Operation Ironman Junior. So 210 carbs, 840 calories in hopefully under 3.5 hours. I don't know. I have no clue what to expect. Just really going there to try the transitions for this. But I'm feeling stoked about this plan. Do a little bit more research to see if I need more calories. But at the end, my pre-race meal is going to add a significant amount of calories, maybe 500 to 700 beforehand. And then obviously the post-race meal to feel that calorie loss. So that's what it is right here. Heading to the swim. Final workout sesh before Saturday. 2,600 yards. Really the focus will be sighting and just working on the glide. So not really going to focus on speed too much. Just going to try to keep form tight. Really get a strong glide in there. And then a couple sighting drills just to kind of get used to that for the 1,500 meter swim or roughly mile swim, I guess. So we'll do that and then we'll start to relax and fuel up for Saturday. Did somebody order an ice bath? Ice bath finished. Just gonna do some lunch. Just a double wrap burrito with some chips, and then I'll have some fruit also, but that's not important. We're gonna go through what's in the packet pickup that I think is relevant. They gave me a swim cap to make sure they know what range I'm in, what race I'm doing, etc. So I'll put this over my swim cap. And then they gave, some different snacks and stuff. The one big call out is my fuel plan changed. The stuff I was expecting to get here, some reason shipped to Portland and then went to Ohio, and now is in Colorado, and it was supposed to be here this morning. So had to pivot. We're gonna do the Martin drink mix. Martin, my worst enemy. The experience, not great. The functionality, exceptional, and that's what you're really getting it for. So doing the 320, which will be the main bottle with about 80 carbs in it, 200 grams of sodium. And then in the other bottle, I'll do the 160, which is 40 carbs with 160 sodium in it. And then I'll put some electrolytes in both of them. And then I picked up a gel 160 for the run. I have another one as well on the caffeine. So kind of had to pivot to Martin, which is fine. That's, what will be on the Ironman course. And then, I know they gave me a shirt, which I don't know. They just always, I don't want to, who wants a cutoff? I don't, but it is what it is. And then a bunch of other, local sponsor magazine, etc. And now we take a look at the packet, which I will open slowly. So what the packet is going to have is the timing chip. What is this? Packet will have the timing chip. So this will go around my left ankle and under the wetsuit and stay on throughout the whole race. So that way at different points they can time my swim, my transitions, etc., the finish line, pacing officially. So that's what I'll put on tomorrow morning. And then you also get what looks to be the bike numbers and helmet numbers. So these will go on the bike and on my helmet so that they can be aware of what rider I am and what race it's in. And then the bib number. Here you go, bib number again. This will be for the run, but I'll also just wear it during the bike leg. This triathlon doesn't ask you to wear this bib during the bike, but I will just to kind of prep again for the Ironman. I think that's everything. So that's everything that's in the packet. We're going to finish up lunch, and the last thing before the race is just to pack everything for the race. Now we're packing, the final step. So we'll take a look at what will be in the bag. Starting with the bag itself, this is just a 35 liter On Track Pack bag to carry all my stuff. So I'll have obviously a set of little Allen wrenches here to make sure everything's tight. I'll pump up my tires and bring a pump. Little resistance band to activate the glutes and the quads, the shoulders and lats. Then as we get to the swim, right, the most important thing is in here, which is the wetsuit. So here is the 2XU wetsuit that I will be wearing during the swim with the green on it. Feels pretty fine. Wore it in the ocean, worn it once or twice. Works pretty good. Most importantly, I'll need the body glide with it, right? And make sure I can get in and out as easy as possible. Then you'll get goggles, obviously. Still won't be able to see much, but those help. Swim cap 1, swim cap 2. Maybe the blue one will fit over my hair, but the black one is larger to fit over an afro, which not a lot of people have to deal with. And then I also have, where's my tri-suit? This is why we do it. Remember the tri-suit, this will go on under the wetsuit, but we'll wear this with obviously under, and then for the bike and the run, it does have the pockets in the back. Again, 2XU tri-suit. I use swim earplugs. I don't know if I have to, but just used to it. That's what I do in the pool. So that's the water and the pre-race setup with, again, the Martin Gel 100, Caffeine 100 to be pumped. To be pumped up before the swim, I guess. And then our first transition, we'll get to the bike, right? So take off the wetsuit. Most importantly, you'll have the helmet. You'll toss that puppy on. Then you'll go into chamois butter, bringing this. Again, just to prevent any chafing on the ride or the run. This is the part I'm most curious about. Because I've never really put it on in a transition. So we'll see how it works, because the tri-suit's obviously pretty tight, but chamois butter, cycling shoes. Need to clean these up, make sure they're tightened, but oh, there's a spider on it. What the? No more spiders on them. Definitely need to clean them up. Cycling shoes, which I'm not going to throw on the bed because they're dirty. And then I'll throw on this little waist belt that I'll put the bib number on for the ride, so that way it's visible. Just get used to kind of the Ironman setting. Like I said, for this triathlon you don't necessarily need it, but waist pack. And then this will also have my running gels in it, which I'll show in a second. But obviously nutrition on the bike. Martin 320, 90 or 80 carbs, and then Martin 160, 40 carbs. So that as well. I'll have 2 water bottles, which I just forgot to bring up, but they're on the bike right now. So we'll finish that. Then we'll transition into the run. So primarily just take the helmet off, be in the tri-suit, take the cycling shoes off. Then we have the Cloud Monster Hyper here, the Pleasures Loop collab. That'll be running the 10K in. So I think these have like maybe 50 miles in them, but transition to these. Don't know how I feel about not having like the quick pull laces. Some people said you should get those, but I'm not in that much of a hurry. So there's those. And then on the run, I have a Martin Gel 160 and then this BPN Go Gel and the Apple Cinnamon. It's just the last one I had left, so I'll use that as well. And then obviously you need towels. So that's everything, I guess. Some sunscreen, some other little things, but that's everything that will be in my bag. So there it is. That's everything in the bag. Nutrition, helmet, tri-suit, wetsuit, body glide, goggles. We're just missing like sunscreen and stuff, and then obviously shoes and whatnot. So let's get after it. It's 6 a.m. left at 5:45. We'll be there at like 6:40. Got all the junk in the trunk, all packed or whatever. And I think race predictions, we'll do 1,500 meter swim, let's say 40 minutes, 20-mile bike or 20K bike. I have to double check on what it is. We'll say an hour 30, and the run 10K, we'll say an hour 20, and so that makes for 3.5 hour estimated completion time, because whoa, it just really lost our route. I think the Olympic is like the ultimate form of the sprint, but obviously I'm not training for a sprint, so we'll see how it goes. One of the things you start to realize is like we're about to park, how many other psychos there are. You know, obviously this is my first Olympic triathlon, first triathlon. You just think about all the other people that are doing something similar. I don't know if they're all doing an Ironman, but like just committing to long rides and long runs and swims. Like sometimes when you train by yourself, you're like, oh, not many people. Then you are in a pack of 30 cars. You're like, oh, everyone is a psycho.
And be a good neighbor in the triathlon neighborhood pages when you're setting up, carving out your little piece. Instructed to dismount your bike, and then it's run or walk your bike downhill through the alley.
7:41, 4
7:41?
minutes until everyone's out of the transition area. Got a good little setup, wetsuits on. Probably should have stretched a little bit more, but we're just having a good time. Pretty nice looking lake. Water temperature 72, so perfect for a wetsuit. I had to shift down or to go to an easier gear because we start uphill on the bike. So everything's set up. Gonna be a good time.
What are you most excited for?
The nap afterwards. I don't know, the food after, not here, but we're picking up food somewhere else. So Rod, who just walked by, I ripped the wetsuit, which is always good drama, but we found duct tape, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I try to return it afterwards, but we're all good to go. So we're gonna hit in the water. Are you good to go?
Go, Julian! He did it! Woohoo!
Alright, we finished. Good news is, cooked on the bike. Cooked on the bike. Bad news is, as you saw, I ripped my wetsuit and I DNF'd the swim about 250 meters in. Wetsuit's just too small and it's really constricting my movement, constricting breath a little bit, not like a panic attack, but that plus the wetsuit, getting a little water in, I was just, you kind of get lost, right? You lose your form, you get constricted, so not super stoked on that. My heart rate shot up to like 190. I think my high is like 150 for the swim, but other than that, did the bike in an hour, did the run in a little over an hour. So my pacing would have been flying, but you know, it would have probably been like a 250, I think, in just that swim. So luckily a local tri group saw me and was like, hey, you should come out, we like what you're doing. And then they do an open water swim here, luckily enough, once a week. So I'm gonna order a new tri-suit and then just really factor in that open water swim. Because sometimes you want to be angry about not finishing, but you learn a lot. I mean, this is why we did it. Everything else, perfectly fine. The bike, my derailleur broke. So this is a really hilly course, surprisingly. Some downhills hitting like 38 miles an hour for me, which is good. But towards the second half of the second loop going up hills, my derailleur broke and I couldn't go from the big chain ring to the little chain ring to get uphill. So I just had to put a lot of power down in the big chain ring to do so, which is a bummer. So we got to get that fixed. But other than that, good learning experience. Super sweaty, but stoked with everything else. Just got to work on the swim. All right, final recap. Yeah, like I said, the bike, I think hour 15 is what it came out to. The run, an hour. So we cooked on those. But the swim, I think there's two things that happen, right? Not making excuses, I just didn't finish. But first thing that happens is the wetsuit's just too small. And, you know, with my lack of experience, I don't think I realize that until it's too late. So I get to the first buoy, and I just start to understand, like, I'm constricted for breath. It's hard to breathe. I'm getting lightheaded, which never happens in the pool. And that's because, yeah, it's just way too tight on the upper body. It's pulling my shoulders down. I just don't have the movement, so I'm exerting a lot of effort. As you get lightheaded, you're trying to get more air in, but you can't get the air in. It's like swimming at altitude. And secondly, is just general lack of experience, right? Like, I'm sure a stronger swimmer in a small wetsuit is going to fare much better, but when you're out there, you don't necessarily know what's happening. That's the only route you can take, and that's why we did it, right? And so I think now I've been humbled by the bike. I've been humbled on the run. Finally been humbled on the swim. So I'm not mad about it. It's great learning. If anything, it gave me more confidence in the other areas. So I'm just going to look for a larger wetsuit. I'm going to throw in an open water swim once a week or every other week. And then I'm going to use this. This is what they give you at the end. is kind of motivation. I think this is what I needed. I didn't really have anything. I was just going after it. So not going to let that happen again. We're going to put this on the wall, the DNF medal, to look at while we're training before Ironman California.